Good Sunday evening, folks. Nick here with the updated video cast for you all. We're definitely going to continue our warming trend as we go through at least the first part of our work week and school week. But once we get to the end of the week, that's when we'll have to focus on another storm system that could make things at least interesting around here. Before we get to those details, let's look at the shot from 7th and Range Line on this Sunday night. Nice looking view from the east side of the city. Streets below pretty quiet, skies above are quiet as well, and that's what helped us to warm up after a chilly start this morning. 13 degrees officially at the airport this morning in Joplin, cooler than our average low of 25 for January 8th around here. But even though we should be topping out around 44 degrees, we had a decent warm up today. Highs near 41 degrees, keeping in mind we were struggling to get out of the teens and 20s not too long ago, so we will definitely take 41 degrees for early January around here. Latest check of the temperatures just before the 10 o'clock hour had most spots sitting in the lower 30s. A few spots from Stockton Lake, Springfield, and Table Rock Lake already back into the upper 20s, even a lone 29 for Neosho and Lamar. But temperatures from here on out shouldn't get too much colder because of the setup that we'll have in place as we go into the overnight and into tomorrow. Throughout the whole day, we've had things quiet on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. And even though we've had clear skies going into this evening and tonight, you'd think that would allow us to get cold again. However, it won't get so cold compared to the past few nights. Look at the setup here. We got a good south wind in place. That also helped us warm up today. But thanks to a warm front that lifted through earlier today and high pressure sitting off to our east in the Appalachian Mountains, that's what's funneling our south wind. That's what will keep temperatures from dropping off so much tonight. So instead of lows back into the teens, we'll only bottom out into the mid to upper 20s. Still cold, but again, we're definitely heading in the right direction if you are not a fan of the cold temperatures around here. We'll hide the webcam for a moment to show you the wider view of the western shores of the U.S. We do have another front working into the western parts of the U.S., almost at the Rocky Mountain Range, especially this cold front, trailing from Oregon, Washington State, and going back down through California and San Francisco. That front will have to work through as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. But even as that front works through, it's not going to do a lot for us, and I'll show you with this wide view of the future track. Before that front gets here, though, we'll continue with that south wind tonight. That means temperatures, again, only dropping back into the mid to upper 20s for your Monday morning to start things out. And even though we'll have cloud cover increase throughout the course of Monday afternoon, we're going to have a pretty good warm-up once again, with most of us topping out in the mid to upper 40s. I think most spots start at 27 in the morning, 42 by noon. And even though we go mostly cloudy by Monday afternoon, we should have highs right around 47 thanks to a good south wind at 10 to 20 and even some gusts near 30 miles per hour at times. Here's how we look going toward midnight on Tuesday. We're still ahead of the front, but that south wind will really start to kick in the high gear out ahead of it. So that means early morning lows Tuesday of about 46, 47 degrees. We'll continue to warm up to about 60 before we see that front sweep through. But even though on the backside of the front, it's not going to really cool us down that much. We'll be back into the mid-40s by Wednesday morning and then highs Wednesday afternoon. Looking pretty mild, pushing into the mid-60s before we hit Wednesday night. Even though we start the week off on a good note, we got to watch how next weekend's system or this coming weekend system will unfold. With the way the setup looks right now, we have the jet stream digging an upper level low in the desert southwest that'll send good bursts of energy our way from the southwest as it rides along the jet. At the surface, we'll have a stationary front parked somewhere just to our south, and as long as we stay on the northern side of the front, we're going to have some cold temperatures in place. Some spots either at freezing or just below freezing. When you have the cold air at the surface and a good warm air layer aloft, that means whatever moisture is running along this front will start as rain, but once it hits that shallow cold air near the surface, we'll have rain, maybe mixing in with freezing rain and sleet as we deal with this coming system. So a lot of details to still work out, but this is the current thinking right now. We're going to go with rain, freezing rain, and sleet chances for both Friday and Saturday. I think the better shot for any widespread rain, freezing rain, and sleet will be maybe late Friday and especially going into Saturday. Both the long-range models that I've looked at want us warm enough for everything to switch over to rain as we go through Sunday before that system finally clears out going into early next week. But I want to stress, though, we still are several days away from the system working in, and we got a lot of time to fine-tune this forecast. So as long as you keep checking back in here with us, either online, on the air, or on the go, you'll know what to expect as we head toward the end of the coming week. So with that said, let's sum everything up with the 7-day forecast. 47 for Monday afternoon, 61 Tuesday, 63 on Wednesday. We could have a few showers possible Thursday afternoon with highs of 58, and then as we get closer to next weekend, we'll have a much better idea as to how our next big system will unfold. Have a good night. Have a great Monday.